All right. Hey guys. I am going to explain to you what your next assignment is going to be. And I'm excited for it because you guys are going to create a video of yourselves or explaining a chi-squared independence test. I know you guys are like, what? You're crazy. But anyway, what we are going to look at is I collected data from all of the students at San Juan High, and I got their GPA up to third term and their attendance percentage at the end of third term. And we are going to look at if GPA and attendance are independent variables or if they are dependent. I forgot to pull up my file. Hold on one second. All right, sorry, I forgot to pull up my Excel sheet. So, what I have here, like I said, is I have all the students in San Juan High and their GPA up to third term just this year, okay, and the attendance percentage up to third term for this year. So, what you're going to do is I'm going to provide you a link to this website that will create random numbers for you a lot faster than our calculators will. And plus you can specify on here that you don't want them to repeat, which is nice because that's the one thing that the TI Nspire CX ones will not do. So, all right. So in your sample, you are going to get 50 random numbers. Okay. The minimum value is obviously 1. And then we have 420 something. That's 427. So then 1 to 427, allow duplicate entries. We don't want that to be true. We want that to be false because we don't want them duplicated. And then you're going to click calculate. And then you'll be like, where is the random numbers? It's not showing. So then you got to actually click up here, the random number table. And then it will tell you right here, this is 50 random numbers from 1 to 427. Duplicate numbers were not allowed, which is what we want. We do not want duplicates. So there's my random numbers. So I'm going to pause this video and I am going to, so like my first student I'm going to look at is 275. Okay. Well, I'll explain the first few and then I'll pause it when I do the rest. So student 275 had a GPA of 3.161 with 86%. Ignore this column. This column was just needed to find the percentage. So ignore this is the number of classes missed. Anyway, just ignore that. So what did I say? 274? Oh my gosh. 275. Okay, so 275 right here. So 3.161 and 86% attendance. So in a table, you're going to make a table just like this because to figure out independence, it needs to be a qualitative variable, which means we are going to classify it into one of the categories. So this is GPA 3 and higher, right? 3 to 4. This is between 2 and 3, 1 and 2, and between 0 and 1. And then you classify them, well, where did they fall here? So they had a 3.1 something and 86%. So I'm going to do one tally here because that student belongs in that cell. Okay. Then I go to my next random number, 279. So then I go down to 279, 2.1, and 94%. So then they were 2.1 and 94. So they're going to go in this cell. And I'm just going to keep tallying, okay, and go to my next random number. oh my gosh, wrong thing, sorry. 266, find 266 and classify them. Well, they had a 2.7 and 81%. So 2 and 81, so they're gonna go here. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to do that for, and then there should be a total of 50 when I'm done. All right, so yeah, don't hate me for this, but it's okay. You guys have time. So I'm gonna pause this and get all of the tallies. Okay, so I looked up all my random numbers here, and then I tallied them in my table here, and then I just put a number with my tallies. Also, you want to make sure these are zeros, because then when you put them in your calculator, make sure those are zeros as well. If you have zeros, like just put zeros where you have nothing there, right? So then I'll split the screen so you can, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to make a matrix. Oh wait, no, you delete that. Before you do that, make sure your numbers add up to 50, which mine do because I double checked that. And then I'm gonna write my null hypothesis and my alternative hypothesis. Remember with the chi-squared independence test, it's that the null is that the two variables are independent. So I'm gonna say GPA and attendance percentage at, and we also are just looking at the students at San Juan High for this year. So technically, I would say at San Juan High for, 2019 to 2020 are independent. That's what the null will be. Then the alternative will be, and I'm going to save time and not write it all, but GPA and blah, 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 attendance percentage at San Juan High are dependent, which is kind of what we're hoping, or at least me as a teacher, I'm hoping that GPA and attendance percentage do affect each other. So we are hoping to reject the null. I'm not answering that phone call. Okay, so then now I'm going to split screens with you. So I'm going to create a matrix. Oh, sorry, I should hung up. Okay, so I'm going to create a matrix, click the button next to the 9, the matrix button here. And so we have 5 rows. Now, even though I didn't have a number in this row, I'm still going to include it because some of you may end up with a number down here, depending on which students you had, right? They may have an attendance less than 60%. So no matter what, we have 5 rows and we have 4 columns, even if no matter what your results are, we should always have 5 rows and 4 columns for this test. And then I'm going to just put numbers in here. And all these are all zeros. Okay, and then I'm going to store it. Control variable for store, and I'm just going to do G for GPA. Okay, so now I'm ready to do the test since I've stored the matrix and I've written my null and alternative because I want to make sure I have that written too so I know what the heck we are testing, right? So then I'm going to go menu 6, 7, 8. Observed matrix is the G, which I have stored. the heck? Let me pause and see what's going on, and I'll get back with you guys. As I said that, see, this is why it's just good to be a learner and know that you're human, because I was wrong, because if you have a bunch of rows with zeros, no. Okay, I was wrong on that. If you get this bottom row where there's nothing there, or any row where it's all zeros, then don't enter that row. Okay? So hopefully you should have values everywhere else, but it just might be this bottom row right here. You may not have a value in. So if you don't have a value in that, then, so I went back up here and changed it now that I learned that. See, you learn something new every day. So then I did just a 4x4 matrix. Instead of what I had above, I had that fifth row with all zeros. That's why it's like, hey, we can't have all zeros, like nothing there. So then I switched it to a 4x4, and then it worked. Okay. So our chi-squared is really high. So then our chi-squared value, oops, I don't want the highlighter here, sorry. So then my chi-squared, or my test statistic, is 29.68, which makes the p-value very small, which is, if I multiply it by 100, be 0.0496%. So I'm definitely going to reject the null, which is what I was hoping for as a teacher, right? So I hope all of your tests end up doing the same. Because if all of your tests with all of your random numbers end up with the same results, that means we did random numbers of everyone in the school and we repeated this test. Let's see, how many of you do I have? Like 42 times. And hopefully nearly all of them will be we reject the null. Then we clearly have evidence that, hey, going to school does affect your GPA. So we'll see. This will be interesting to see what really happens. So if I reject the null, that means I can just say we have evidence for, and I restate what the alternative is, which is we have evidence that GPA and attendance percentage at San Juan High for 2019-2020 are dependent. So they do depend on one another based off of my results, okay? So what I just did is what you guys are going to do. And you're going to explain your reasoning and everything in a video. And it's going to be awesome. Guys, I'm so excited to see it. Oh, and please know that I'm the only one that's going to video, unless obviously if it's so awesome and I ask for your permission to show others. But anyway, let me pause this for a second. Okay, it probably took longer for me to pull up this dang assignment than for me to do the 50 random numbers. That took forever. So you're welcome for pausing that. Goodness gracious. Okay, so this is the rubric that I'm going to grade you on. Okay, so you know exactly what you need to have on your video. And I'm leaving it, I don't know. Of course, I'd like to see your face eventually in the video, but if it's just like you're recording your screen and just explaining it, that's okay too. Anyways, make sure you have your null and alternative hypotheses are clearly stated. That's like number one thing, right? You have your chi-squared value and the p-value, and then you have your conclusion, explanation of how you found the data. So, show your, so this one right here, random numbers, ties to explain how you find it. So like you'll just explain or show what random numbers you had, then explain how you found your data. Okay. And then I also want you to tell me, well, why the heck do we use a chi-squared independence test? Why can't we use a one sample z-test? Why can't we do a t-test? Why can't we do a chi-squared goodness of fit? So I want you to think about that and explain why we are using this particular test. And then show your work, which can be just as simple as this is, here, I'm showing you my work right here. My computer's gonna do what I want it to. Here's my matrix I stored. Here's that. Ta-da. And also the work would be the table too, as well, that you collected your data in, okay? So this is the rubric. I left it. You can upload it however you see fit. And this is technically not due till April 5th at midnight because that's Sunday at midnight. And it's worth 40 test points. So I'm anxious to watch these and see what you guys do. If you have any questions on anything, obviously let me know and I will be here to help you. So have fun with it. All right, we'll talk to you soon.